Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Aneta and today I'm in a very chatty mood. That's why if you have been waiting for the H&M haul, it will be in the next one. But today I wanted to share something really personal with you. I didn't get much sleep yesterday because I was working on one project, and right now my brain is in this weird mood where I have so many thoughts that I thought it's a good way to get rid of them by talking to you. And I hope it won't be a word dump because that's not the intention. But lately I have been thinking about relationships and my experiences. I have been thinking what my friends are going through, what I have been through, and that's why I wanted to share those thoughts with you today. And it's about finding love, and in my case, finding love after a divorce in my 30s. I think I have to start pretty early on when I was much younger, and the only imagination of a happy relationship was for me the prince coming on his white horse and sweeping me away of my feet, and then we would live happy ever after. My relationships in my 20s wasn't that successful, and I wouldn't say it's because I always met the wrong people. Well, to be honest, I didn't had so many relationships, but I had some, and I don't think it was me always meeting the wrong people, but it's about me not really knowing what I want from a relationship, how a healthy, supportive relation should look like. And I haven't been asking myself those questions in my 20s. Even when I got married, I was sure that it would be for life. I come from a family where marriage is very important. I'm happy to say my parents are happily married for many, many years and still going strong. So I thought, well, I have the right foundation in terms of how a healthy marriage should look like. But then when it came to putting it into practice, it turned out that I was very, very far from it. I think it wasn't until my marriage failed, and I don't want to go so much in the details why it did. Let's only say that my trust was broken. And at first, of course, it was very tough on me and also on my family. But I would say at the end of the day, it's probably one of the best things that ever happened to me. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because after the first shock, grief, and all those emotions which I had when my marriage failed, the time came when I started to enjoy living my single life in my 30s, and At some point I thought I at that place where I don't need anyone and I don't really know if I want to be with someone, and I played with the thought of being alone to the end of my life. Well, not alone, I had my dog, and I lived in this beautiful apartment close to a beautiful park where I would walk every day, and I had great friends and family, and I had this good job, so I was very happy and content with myself, and I felt like I'm in the right place. But then I started to ask myself questions. Of course, after my marriage, I asked myself questions why it failed. Because I believe that, of course, when there is some trust issue, which there was, you can always blame it on the person who broke that trust. But I started to ask myself, why did that happen? And I am not gonna blame myself, no, but I had the realization that I wasn't happy in this marriage, and it wasn't a happy marriage, to be honest. But it took me to that point to realize that, because I had this belief that when you are married, you need to make it work. No matter if you're happy, if your partner is supportive, if he values you and supports you in different things. I just thought that no matter what, you have to be married, and I believe that it's normal to have those bad times, and that it's not always so beautiful and picture perfect, and I accepted that, and I even convinced myself I'm okay with it and I'm happy, and that's it. Right now I can say that I don't think only my husband was at fault. I even don't think there is something like fault in this case. I believe that none of us was really happy in this relationship. We showed it in different ways, and maybe my approach was a little bit different because I was sticking in it and I was doing too much even to make my husband happy, forgetting about myself. And I know right now that without you being happy as a person, so me being happy as a person and in the relationship, it shouldn't be like that I'm unhappy, but okay, I will power through and move on because we are married. I do believe that marriage is something really important, and I do believe that when you commit to someone, even if you are not getting married, but if you commit to your partner that you want to be with him together for life, even if not with a signed paper, that it's a really big deal. And I'm still thinking of something like that, of the happy ever after. And I still do believe that when you commit to someone, to your partner, even if not on paper, it's a really big deal. And it should be something that will last. But then I also know that for me right now, it's much clearer what I need from a healthy relationship to feel supported, to feel valued, and to feel that the other person is putting the effort into that relationship to make it work. I was lucky enough that when I got to the realization that actually, at the end of the day, in the future, I would see myself with someone because I want to share my life with someone. I want to fall in love again. And I was lucky because when I got to the realization, I thought, okay, so I have to put myself out there and start dating, meeting people. And that's never been something I felt so excited about. But then again, I thought, well, you cannot sit around and expect someone to pop up at your door and say, hello, it's me, you have been waiting for me. So I started dating. And most of the times it finished with one date. But it also finished one date not because all of the dates were horrible or something like that. When I have put myself out there, I knew what I was looking for, what values, what character features, what were my non-negotiables, and I was very clear about them very early on. And in my case, that was something what really helped me because I wasn't feeling like, okay, I wasted my time on another date. I just thought, okay, there are so many people, and chances of going on the first date and finding your perfect match, though I wasn't looking for perfection, let's be clear about that, but the chances are pretty low. So I knew I have to keep trying. So when one day I was introduced at a party to a guy who was a colleague of my friend, and then she even suggested we should exchange numbers. I thought, okay, why not? And then when he suggested we should go out, I thought, okay, let's go out. And we did. But it wasn't like the sparks were flying from the first date. No. But there was something else. There was the feeling like I could talk with him for hours because our first date was actually very long because we chatted so much. But even afterwards, I thought, well, it's a great friend material. And I remember my friends asking me, how did the date went? And I told them, well, it was nice. We had a nice chat, we laughed, but it's a great friend material. But then I didn't close myself because I thought, well, there was this great conversation, we shared some laughs. So when he asked me out again, I was like, okay, I will go. And by that second date, there was some shift in, I don't know, in the chemistry, in the atmosphere, but definitely from that point, the sparks were flying, but I also was very clear early on to my right now husband what I want and what my expectations are towards a partner. And it got to that point where things were getting a little bit more serious, and my then boyfriend was starting to act a little bit weird, and I got the impression that he maybe isn't ready to be that committed or to give me that commitment that I want in my life. So I talked to him and I told him, you know what? I really like you. I value many things about you, but I see you have some problems in terms of committing, and I know what I want, and the lack of commitment isn't something I'm looking for. So if you have problems with that, it's okay, it's fine, but then you are just not for me. But I think that when I have put out there what I want and that I won't accept anything less, things of course change. It wasn't from the first day, no, but as you can see, we are very happily married right now. But I do believe that even if you're so in love and you think you have found your perfect match, and at times you cannot imagine living without that person, even then, if the person is not giving you what you need, and by that I don't mean like give me a Porsche, but I mean the respect, the commitment, the support, and whatever things you might find important in a relationship, you need to step away and say, well, I'm sorry, but that's not a place for me, because I know in this sort of a relationship, in the long run, I won't be happy. And it's important that you are happy in your relationship, because if you compromise on those very important things, I do believe that in the long run, it won't work. Of course, I'm not saying relationships are picture perfect and that there aren't disagreements or that there aren't times where you won't be angry at your partner. Absolutely not. But if there's anger and you still find a way to go through it and to have those conversations why you are angry, and if the second person is willing to work on why she made or he made you angry, and she's willing to see your needs are as something so important, then I do believe that those are the things which will make the relationship work. In my case, that's how it turned out, and still until this day I know my husband knows what is important for me, and I see that he's open to my needs emotionally and on other levels. So it's important for him that I feel happy, but it's also for me important that he's happy. So I think I have been blabbering on for quite some time. I hope my story somehow resonates with you. Let me know what you think. If you are going through something similar, know that I think that going into a relationship a lot more intentional in terms of your needs and not compromising on those important things for you are crucial, in my opinion, for a long-lasting and loving relationship. And that's what I wish for all of you, if that's something you want, of course. Guys, I have been talking for a lot right now. I hope my story somehow resonates with you. I'm sharing those experiences because I wish I would knew some of the things before, and I wish the learning curve which I had to get to this point wouldn't be as difficult, but I'm very happy at the place where I'm at. And that's it for me, guys. Thank you for watching and see you in my next one. Bye.